Hello, Earthlings. Today I bring the thoughts that I meant to transmit yesterday, but I told myself this is getting a lot of coverage, a lot of attention, and I think it's great. So I don't want to just follow the trend. I want to instead arrive at the conclusion. So this is going to be my thoughts on the folks who were perhaps alone during Christmas and how it may affect you, and I will try to address two different sets of circumstance. The first circumstance is that you are completely alone and thus completely, like, incredibly lonely. Well, um, back during my adolescent years, the holiday season was really difficult for me because I didn't have any friends, I didn't have any family. You guys know the story of me and my family and how I'm not close to them and whatever. And then this was also the time when I was having some rough moments going on with my mom. So it's not like I felt close to her or felt like I could trust her. So this was, to say the least, a very sad time for me, very depressive time. The summertime, nighttime in general, and then the holiday season really um, took its toll on me because I was so anxious and I just didn't have anybody to do anything with or share anything with. And I would see in this age of social media, I would see people posting about their adventures, and I'm like, why am I friends with these people in social media if we never do anything outside of school back in that time? I'm like, I have some Facebook friends, but like we don't do anything. Why? Why is it that when we're in school we talk and we're tight and we have a good time, but then I don't feel like we're friends outside of hanging out in school and just doing stuff, right? Well, needless to say, I cried a lot. I was very miserable for a long time. This was years. I want to say this all started to manifest between the year 2009 up until maybe, let's say, 2012. But 2012 is when it started ending for me. Like the misery started ending because I was away from school, and because I was by myself, like I didn't go to college, nor did I get a job immediately afterward. I just took that time to be by myself and explore myself. What do I like? What do I dislike? What do I want? What do I look forward to? What is something that I have wanted to try but never have? And then I told myself, something that I would love to change is my diet. So I started reading a lot about food and diet and just what's good to eat and whatnot. So it was kind of a difficult time because I have never been good with food or anything like that. In fact, I hated dealing with food. So I said to myself, this is a big weakness of mine that is important. So let me go ahead and address it, try to learn as much as I can. And, eventually I obtained a lot of knowledge. I became aware of the horrors of the food industry, the terrible things that are being sold at supermarkets and everything. And I said, wow, had it not been for this time that I dedicated to myself, I would not have learned that with everything I eat, I am really, really, really poisoning my body. So, anyway, so even though for a long time I had been feeling down and depressed that I was by myself, it took me being by myself to learn something as important as that. So now I am where I'm at, which is I am far healthier, I feel far better, and even I feel better about my image. I never thought that I would feel positive about just my appearance in general. Let's just keep it simple. And I guess the other way that we can address this is the folks who are alone during Christmas, but it's more in the emotional sense, not that you're literally alone. Like, I just went over you being actually alone by not having a family, not having friends, etc. But now let's talk about it from the perspective of okay, you're surrounded by people, but you yourself independently feel alone and isolated. For me, this was also true from time to time. Like, there were, during my adolescent years, part of what kept me feeling depressed is the fact that, okay, although I was alone mostly without absolutely anybody during my free time, during the holiday season, I was dragged along for picnics that, like, my mom's friends would throw. Like, by picnics, I mean the holiday parties, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. I should be grateful that I attended those places, right? Well, yes and no. Yes, because, well, it felt good that there was people around, and at the same time, that forced me to not think of how miserable I felt because the last thing I wanted to do was start to break down in front of 20 people. And if I did that, it would mean I think death would be better for me because my mom would be like, "How dare you embarrass me like that?" And I'm like, "How dare you to not realize that there's something wrong with your daughter, but you're too involved in wanting to portray an image of perfection or something to where you being someone who studied psychology could not identify that there's something going on with your daughter, right?" But anyways, I'm not here to reproach her on any of that. There's really no way for you to know that someone is going through something unless they themselves express it, because I have come to realize that just because I am happy doesn't mean that I look like a psychopath and I'm smiling all the time, you know? No. So so I don't really like hold that against her like that. But at the time it was frustrating. But anyways, so you're amongst this group of people, but the problem is that because you think differently, because you're not interested in the same stuff that they're interested, and I was significantly the youngest person in the group, it felt completely awkward. And I know that my mentality has been like, they tell me that I think way wiser than what my age is, that I'm wise beyond my years, something like that. Well, just because I'm that way doesn't mean that I enjoy being involved in conversations like that and groups like that all the freaking time. Like, I would love to meet people my age. I would like to feel like I belong in the group and not being the only 15-year-old amongst 40 somethings, 50 somethings, you know? So that is what made me feel sad despite having company, because, say, if I want to discuss video games, which is what I was deeply rooted into back then, I cannot have that conversation with those folks. And additionally, not that the food was bad, but I'm someone who, I don't like to follow traditions like I expressed a few nights ago on a video. So, going to places like that, I could anticipate what I was going to eat. Like, it was going to be the food associated with the festive season. And I'm like, we're going through this again. And you might say, well, Sam, you're only doing that once a year. And I'm like, I know, but still, if I'm going to spend time with these people, I don't want to associate them with this is what's going to be discussed, this is what's going to be eaten, this is the clothes that I'm going to have to wear, and this is the speech pattern that I'll have to follow. I'll have to sound mature and this and that. No, what if I want to just crack jokes or not be serious about stuff? And then all of these people, had their marriages, they had kids and everything. What is a 15-year-old doing amongst that group? So I guess to now come back full circle, if you were alone during the holiday season, I must say that I'm really proud of something that I saw on Twitter. There was a hashtag going on called hashtag join in. I could have benefited from something like that some 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, because I would spend as much time as I could online if I had access to the Wi Fi. And being online helped me as much as playing video games. So if I go over to someone's home, I cannot play video games because I don't have my consoles with me. And maybe if there are consoles, the kids who own those consoles are not there. And I'm not about to go into their room and just start playing or ask their parents if I can play with their kids' stuff, you know? So at least having my iPod at the time, having the access to the internet, it was a big save for me because I wasn't really questioned about why I'm so engraved into the internet, why I'm so attached to my little device, you know? It was seen as, this is what teenagers just do. So nobody really questioned me on that, and that was great. But at the same time, when I was online, I was still lonely because I really didn't know which pages to navigate through. Like, I know I had a Twitter back then, but I wasn't really active on it because, let's face it, I didn't understand how to use it really. So I really only started using Twitter back in maybe 2012, like early 2012. So that was a big save for me. But prior to that, I would download apps, like free game apps, and that kept me distracted. But it just sucked that I didn't have someone to be communicating with, connecting with, like everybody else, you know? Like all of these adults were connecting with each other because they have stories to share, you know, from back when they were kids and up until their marriages, and they talk about their own kids and junk like that. You know, what do I have to bring to the table? So, and then the worst part of it is that adults just automatically think that they know everything about you just because they went through your age a long time ago. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that our circumstances were different. I'm sure that you did not have this pressure of fitting in to a certain group of people quite like we do because nowadays, instead of being focused on your course of study or something, it's all about what brand of clothes you wear, how you wear your hair, stuff like that. You know, the stupid crap that kids just give a lot of attention to. So it was great to see that hashtag yesterday. I participated on it. I sent maybe 2 tweets on it. And I said, you know, if this was not happening on Twitter, I would probably be the one trying to make something like that happen. But then again, I don't have that much of a big influence. I don't have much of a big audience, so I don't think that I would have succeeded. But at least if I tweet the idea, someone out there may be searching for it and they may start replying and I may meet someone. Like sometimes when I was looking for something, someone maybe to relate to, even if it's online, that's what I would do. Um, I was like, okay, to the people who have anxiety during the holidays, what do people do? And then I would type that on the search bar and I would see a ton of tweets, a ton of posts by people who were going through the same thing that I was going through, you know? Hey, JJ. And it was just awesome to see that nowadays stuff like that is being talked about because during my younger days I could have benefited from something like that. But now that I'm older and I have more freedoms, more control over my life, and definitely more people that I can reach out to, I can't say that I struggled. And yesterday, what I did was I spent maybe like 3/4 of my day online, and the other quarter was my boyfriend came over, so we just spent time together. Um, we watched something on YouTube, and then I took a shower, and then we were just chilling, like just laid down in silence, just chilled. And then eventually I told him, hey, I have a weird thought. I'm thinking about my dad because he had sent me a message, and then I thought maybe I should try sending him a little something. And I also feel the impulse of calling him, but I'm not going to. So in the end, I didn't. But at the same time, I said something like that depresses me. Like, um, how can I say that? Dwelling on family matters. So I told him, I need a distraction. I need to do something. So let's shift the focus. So, it's just good to know that I don't have to go through that struggle at the level that I did, years ago. So I'm just glad that I have my resources better and all that. So, in conclusion, to anyone who felt miserable yesterday, I don't know what your circumstances may be, but coming from someone who had that experience, I promise you that it gets better. I don't think that if you're a young person, it'll definitely get better for you because when you're young, stuff is just extra difficult because you don't have your own resources and everything. But if you're an older person, don't think that your time is running out, um, because I feel like looking forward to stuff getting better is what keeps you alive and motivated, So it may be frustrating that you're spending a long time seemingly having to fight for things to go right for you, but I would not like to know that as an older person, you're thinking, well, I'm old. There's just no escape for me, no solution for me. Because I feel like that's what makes your thinking worse. Let's say if you can declare that a depressive state, that's what makes your depression worse because I feel like you're thinking that you're dying already. Like, something like that can happen to anybody, any age. And we hear of a lot of young people now who are born sick or they get sick at a really young age and they, get taken to the grave. So don't ever think that your days are ending because no, always try to live life to the fullest. Just like pilots always try to fly the plane even though they're losing control. So so yeah, I hope that you don't look at how your holiday season goes as the representation of your progress in life because trust me, I don't think anybody's life out there is perfect. Not even people who supposedly have everything figured out and everything together. I'm pretty sure that they have problems somewhere. So, um, I know that there's this pressure to portray the perfect image, but realistically, there is no such thing as a perfect holiday. So I just would love to hear that you guys who struggle with being lonely and all that, that you don't look at this as, the representation of what your state in life is, because at the end of the day, I guess what helps me pull through is that I know how much of a massive money movement this is. So I do not participate on it and I don't let that define me either. So, anyways, and last night was lit. Of course, it was lit for you. I'm pretty sure that it would be lit for you because that's just how you roll, dude. So, but honestly, now I'm curious. Now I wonder what um, something being lit is for you, Mr. JJ. But, anyways, um, for me, I used to, when I was a kid, I would go to family gatherings and it was at my grandma's house. And she always had the freaking house literally lit with, like, she would grill something. So there was a fire going on somewhere. And then there were the Christmas lights and then the music blasting. So I guess that would define lit. But over here, just know that it was quiet and I loved it, every single step of the way. JJ, do I look like a guy from Good Times? Please just call me Jacobs. No, I like JJ better because Jacobs. Who puts an S at the end of Jacob? I just refuse to pronounce that. But at any rate, yeah, honestly, if I were to think about what the best Christmas for me was, well, of course, when I was a kid, of course, I would say Christmas when I was 8 years old, because I feel that was the Christmas when I got my Game Boy Color. No, I feel like I had my Game Boy Color when I was 6 years old. But anyways, mine was one of those purple see-through ones, so it was alright. But I gotta make a nickname. You want to make a nickname for me? Well, make it good because I don't think anybody has come with a good nickname for me except for an endearing. So, I forget what mom's nickname was for me, honestly. But clearly it was not a permanent one because she doesn't use it anymore. So, as long as she doesn't use my first name, middle name, and last name together, then I know that I'm cool with her. But I remember nothing frightened me more than her calling me by my full name when I was little because I knew that shit was going to go down and it was not going to be good for me. So, anyways, I'm pretty sure all of you can relate. Your name is pronounced like Zemery. Zemery. So I am going to take a stripper approach and just call you Camry like the car. Like the car. You know what? Bingo. Actually, what inspired my name was actually the Camry because you guys know that Toyota is life. Well, I simply remember seeing a Camry commercial. It was playing right as I was creating my account. It was probably my Twitter account because that's what my handle is exactly what my name on the channel is. And I said, I really, really, really love the name Camry. So I want to do something with that. And then I thought that putting an X in front of Camry, Zamri, closely resembles what my name is, and my middle name does happen to start with a Y. So I said, this is the name for me. And I'm glad because I like it. It's been 5 years already, and I still feel pretty cool about it. And I believe that unless some random Twitter bot or something has used it, I have never seen anybody else with the Xamarin name. I like unique, so points for me. Also, we still good for next month. Absolutely, dude. I was going to send you a message as the date approached, like maybe um, January, at the beginning of January or something. So yeah, I was actually going to ask you the same question. So yeah, count on it. Actually, I'm counting on you because there's nothing more terrifying than being stranded at an airport for such a considerably long amount of time. So yeah, that'll be exciting. All right, well, guys, I will have to bail on you because I have to do a few things and then get ready to go out to do yet some more things. But I definitely will come back for another topic because you guys know that I have 700. So, of course. Okay, text me whenever. Also, I never got your idea on this, but would you ever consider being a stripper? Mm, Jacobs, look at me. Look at this face, all right? I know that it's probably a tough thing to do right now, but just look at this face. As much stripper material as I am, I just simply do not have the lack of morals and ethics and everything. I don't even know how ethics play into that, but I just don't have the lack of morals to be a stripper because that's just not my thing. I'm an incredibly, like, when it comes to my body, I'm just incredibly reserved, incredibly private. So there is just no way that I can voluntarily get rid of my clothes in front of a group of people, especially when my one of my goals in life and something really important for me is to be in like healthy relationships. So I don't think any boyfriend I'm with would appreciate that other guys get to see what I look like. So so anyways, my homegirl told me I should be a male stripper in Miami and I was like, hell no. Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, maybe you can do it because I mean, you're you, but me being me, that's just not the thing for me. And absolutely, of course, we're going to shoot something when we get together because that. yeah, we need to do something. And remember that you're supposed to destroy me at a basketball game, and I'm looking forward to it. So, but then again, that money is appealing. Well, guess what? There are so many other ways that are more appealing to make money than that. So, if I wanted to have quick money overnight, I would probably just ask for a ton of people with a psychopathic smile if they are willing to give money without the intent of being returned. So I can ask from a dollar. I can ask for a dollar from maybe, let's say, 1,000 people just at random over the course of maybe 3 days or so. Because trust me, I see a lot of people in a day. I feel like I could pull it off. So, but yeah, no, no stripping for me. But I guess that's a good video topic, so I am going for it. But damn, girl, I have to dress casual but also wear some basketball shorts. Well, I mean, honestly, as long as you have clothes on you, just so you don't go to jail and I don't have to worry about bailing you out, then yeah, just wear anything. Besides, you told me that I'm not that special, so I don't know why you're sweating what you're going to wear or not so much, when you see me. For me, I have an absolute leggings addiction. They are the most comfortable, and I just like to have flexibility. So I'll probably just wear leggings and a jacket. And when I get to, Miami weather or Florida weather, sorry, um, I know that I'm going to be burning up. So I need to dress in a way where I can remove the layers from this snowy place that I may be at, and then arrive over there and then be like, okay, I gotta get rid of some layers because I'm cooking. So but anyways, girl, I am sweating over here. I am very calm. Exactly, you're supposed to be calm because just look at me. um oh yeah, of course, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? All right, well, it was nice talking to you, Mr. JJ. So i'll not I will not forget to text you, so don't worry about that. All right. As for the rest of you, see you soon.